Tonight, our coverage as the Canadian Sikh community is seeking answers after the death of a young woman in a Walmart store in Nova Scotia. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Zahra Sayed. The Sikh community is demanding answers after a 19-year-old woman was found dead in a bakery oven at a Walmart in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Gursimran Kaur's body was discovered by her mother, who also works at the same Walmart. The victim is originally from India. The mother and daughter moved to Canada 2 years ago with hopes for a better life. The victim's mother is in shock and is seeking clarity on how her daughter ended up in the oven. The Maritime Sikh Society is raising funds to bring her father and her brother from Punjab for her funeral. Their GoFundMe campaign has raised over $85,000. Halifax police are investigating the cause of Gursimran's death. The community is calling for transparency and support during this difficult time. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has thwarted an internal coup attempt within the Liberal Party. 24 Liberal MPs had signed a document calling for Trudeau to step down. After a closed-door meeting with his MPs, Trudeau has asserted the party's unity. In recent months, Trudeau's popularity has been waning. The Conservative Party leads with 19 points in poll. Immigration Minister Mark Miller acknowledges rising tensions within the party. However, he says he is confident about Trudeau's ability to navigate criticism. In a significant policy shift, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced a reduction in Canada's immigration targets. The move aims to ease pressure on housing and post-pandemic services. The previous targets for 2025 and 2026 were 500,000 for each year. This has been decreased to 395,000 for next year. For 2026, the new target is 380,000. The move comes as Trudeau has been facing severe criticism over the impact of population growth on housing affordability. Opposition parties have dismissed the changes as insufficient and argue that the move fails to address the core issues Canadians face. Business groups have expressed concern on the move. They warn reduced immigration numbers could exacerbate labor shortages. A recent survey shows Muslims across Europe are facing a troubling increase in racism. The survey has been conducted by the European Union Agency for Fundamental Rights. 9,600 Muslims from 13 member states have taken part in the survey. The results highlight pervasive issues such as school bullying, employment inequality, and housing discrimination. The survey reveals 71% of Muslims in Austria and 68% in Germany have reported recent discrimination. Nearly half of the respondents have reported facing discrimination. The director of the agency, Sirpa Ratio, attributes the rise in racism to dehumanizing anti-Muslim rhetoric and ongoing conflicts in the Middle East. Hate crimes against Muslims and Jewish communities have intensified since the onset of Israel's war on Gaza. The agency urges the member states of the European Union to enforce stricter sanctions against hate crimes. They are calling for improvements on data collection on ethnic diversity to combat such incidents. More than 150 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli airstrikes targeting residential homes in Jabalia, northern Gaza. The attacks occurred yesterday evening. This assault is part of a brutal siege that began 20 days ago. The Gaza Civil Defense describes the situation as a horrific massacre. The organization says there is an urgent need for assistance as victims remain trapped under the rubble. The Israeli military targeted homes belonging to multiple families, including the Najjar and Abu al-Auf families. This resulted in widespread destruction of residential blocks. Eyewitnesses say there were frantic pleas for help as citizens called for aid to transport the injured. The airstrikes have not only devastated Jabalia. Significant casualties have also been reported in Khan Yunis and at the Kamal Adwan hospital, where several children are amongst the deceased. An Israeli delegation is set to travel to Doha on Sunday, where they will meet with the Qatari and the U.S. negotiators to reignite discussions for a ceasefire in Gaza. At least 42,847 civilians in Gaza have been killed since October 7th. More than 100,000 Palestinians have been injured. Israel faces a genocide case at the International Court of Justice for its actions in Gaza. In Lebanon, Israeli operations have escalated. Multiple airstrikes have killed 19 civilians in the past 24 hours. 3 journalists have also been killed. Israeli fighter jets have carried out at least 12 air raids on Beirut overnight. They have targeted Harat Harik, Burj al-Barajneh, Shufat, and Hadath areas south of Beirut. The Israeli military says it has killed Abbas Adnan Muslim, a commander in Hezbollah's elite Radwan force. Protests have erupted outside the offices of Moroccan television channel 2M in Rabat. The news comes after the casting of Israeli actor Eva Kadosh in the series Nas al-Mala. Actress Kadosh is of Moroccan descent. Previously, she has faced backlash due to her support for Israel's military actions in Gaza on social media. Since then, she has deleted the posts from her account. The Moroccan Front in Support of Palestine organized a sit-in outside the channel's office. The group demanded a boycott of the show in solidarity with Palestinians and Lebanese affected by the conflict. The show has been airing since September 26th. It explores the historical coexistence of Muslim and Jewish families in Essaouira. Critics argue Kadosh's casting symbolizes a troubling normalization of ties between Morocco and Israel. Aziz Hanawi, an opponent of normalization, has expressed concerns over Kadosh's political affiliations. Kuwait has banned the highly anticipated video game Call of Duty Black Ops 6. The video game is set for global release on October 25th. The ban has been confirmed by developer Activision and prompts a refund for all pre-orders in the country. The game is centered around the first Gulf War and features Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein. It has ignited discussions on political sensitivities in entertainment. Kuwaiti authorities have not provided an official reason for the ban. However, social media users are speculating that the game's portrayal of the war may have influenced the decision. The war started with Iraq's invasion of Kuwait in 1990. It remains a deeply sensitive chapter in Kuwaiti history, with the effects still felt today. Under the then-President Saddam Hussein, Iraq invaded the country with around 100,000 troops in hopes of controlling its vast oil resourcing. Starbucks has reported a 7% drop in global sales for the July to September quarter. This marks its 3rd consecutive quarterly decline. The boycott campaigns related to the company's stance on Israel have impacted sales. The company's earnings per share have plummeted 25% to 80 cents. Consolidated net revenues have fallen to $9.1 billion, down by 3% year-on-year. Despite increased investments, CFO Rachel Ruggieri notes no significant improvement in sales. Starbucks now aims to implement long-term strategies to revitalize its business. CEO Brian Nichols says there is a need for a fundamental change. A mega event is happening at Bellevue Manor in Concord, Ontario, this Sunday, October 27th. The Vaughan Halal Fest has been put together by the Muslim Women of Vaughan. The event will feature a multicultural bazaar, and a Nasheed concert, a Qiraat competition, and halal food in abundance. The entry is free. Do not miss out the opportunity to enjoy it with family and friends. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News Canada. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum.